Imagine a life where you no longer feel the need to please everyone around you, where your worth isn't determined by others' opinions, and where you no longer shrink to fit into a mold that wasn't made for you. A life where you stand firm in your own beliefs, pursue your own dreams, and live authentically without fear of judgment or rejection. What would that life look like? Can you picture it? Now let me ask you this. How many times have you held back your voice to avoid conflict? How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no just to make someone else happy? How often have you sacrificed your own happiness, dreams, or well-being to fit into the role of the nice girl, the one who never rocks the boat, who always puts others first, and who lives for the approval of others? It's time to stop. It's time to break free from that role, to stop being the nice girl and to step into the powerful, bold, and confident woman you were always meant to be. You have the right to take up space, to be heard, and to live a life that is authentically yours. Let's explore how being the nice girl often means living a life that revolves around the needs and expectations of others. In this role, you find yourself constantly trying to please those around you, to avoid conflict, and to maintain a sense of harmony, even at the cost of your own happiness. But this is a dangerous cycle to fall into, and it's one that many women struggle with in silence. The idea of being nice often comes from a desire to be liked, to feel accepted, and to avoid the pain of rejection or confrontation. However, when this desire takes over, you begin to sacrifice your own needs, your voice, and your dreams for the sake of others. You start to lose sight of who you truly are and what you truly want, because you're too focused on meeting everyone else's expectations. This people-pleasing behavior can be particularly insidious because it often masquerades as kindness. It's easy to justify being overly accommodating by telling yourself that you're just being generous or considerate. But the truth is, when you constantly put others before yourself, you start to erode your own sense of self-worth and identity. You may begin to question what you truly desire, and you might feel a deep sense of frustration or resentment when others don't seem to appreciate the sacrifices you make. The first step in breaking free from this cycle is recognizing that it's okay to put yourself first. You are not responsible for making everyone around you happy. In fact, trying to do so only leads to exhaustion, burnout, and a loss of personal fulfillment. When you constantly try to please others, you neglect your own needs and desires, and that leads to a life that feels empty and unbalanced. This doesn't mean being selfish or cruel, but rather finding the balance where you can care for others while also caring for yourself. It's about learning to say no without guilt, to voice your own opinions and needs, and to set boundaries that protect your peace of mind and personal well-being. One of the key aspects of people-pleasing is the fear of conflict. Many women who fall into this trap avoid confrontation at all costs, often allowing toxic situations to persist because they're afraid of the discomfort that might arise from speaking up. But the reality is, Avoiding conflict only builds resentment and creates a facade of harmony that is in fact fragile and unsustainable. True peace comes from honesty and authenticity, from being willing to address difficult situations and resolve them in a way that honors both your needs and the needs of others. Breaking free from the people-pleasing mindset is not an overnight process. It requires a shift in how you see yourself and your role in the world. It involves accepting that your worth is not determined by how much you do for others, but by your own intrinsic value as a person. It means embracing the courage to be authentic, to stand firm in your beliefs, and to recognize that it's okay to take up space in this world without apologizing for it. When you stop being the nice girl who seeks approval and start being the strong, confident woman you were always meant to be, you will discover a freedom and joy that you never thought possible. Embracing boldness and confidence is a transformative act, one that requires stepping out of the shadows of self-doubt and into the light of self-assurance. Often, when someone is labeled the nice girl, there's a quiet expectation that she will always be agreeable, compliant, and perhaps even passive. This passive approach to life, however, can stifle personal growth and prevent a woman from reaching her full potential. True power doesn't come from pleasing others or being agreeable all the time. It comes from the ability to stand firm in one's beliefs, to speak up even when it's uncomfortable, and to take action with purpose, even in the face of adversity. Boldness is not about being brash or aggressive. It's about having the courage to express your thoughts, desires, and boundaries openly and without apology. It's about knowing your worth and standing up for yourself, even when others may not understand or support you. The world is full of voices and opinions, and it can be tempting to blend in, to stay quiet, or to suppress what you feel for the sake of harmony. But when you do this, you deny yourself the chance to make an impact, to be heard, and to live authentically. Boldness involves acknowledging that your voice matters and that your perspective has value, regardless of how others might perceive it. Confidence goes hand in hand with boldness. Confidence isn't something that comes naturally to everyone, but it is something that can be cultivated with practice and intention. It's the belief that you are capable, worthy, and strong enough to face whatever comes your way. It's about trusting yourself, even in moments of uncertainty, and knowing that you have the ability to navigate challenges and setbacks with grace and resilience. Confidence means being unafraid to make mistakes, because you understand that failure is not the end, but simply a step toward growth. It's a mindset that allows you to take risks, knowing that you have the tools within you to overcome obstacles. This shift in mindset is not always easy. The pressure to be nice often comes with the expectation of being demure, accommodating, and silent in situations where your opinion may differ. Overcoming that pressure requires a reframe, that your voice is not a burden and your thoughts are not trivial. Being bold doesn't mean disregarding the feelings of others, but it does mean prioritizing your truth and your needs. It's the realization that you do not have to dim your light to make others comfortable. The strength to be confident lies in the ability to stand firm, even when faced with criticism or opposition. When you embrace boldness and confidence, you begin to step into your own power. You start making decisions not out of fear of disapproval, but from a place of clarity and purpose. You allow yourself to take up space, to speak your mind, and to chase your dreams without apology. Boldness is not about seeking attention, but about living authentically and refusing to shrink back into the background. It is a declaration to the world that you are here, you are valuable, and you deserve to be seen and heard for who you truly are. To truly understand the power of boldness and confidence, it is essential to recognize that they are not traits reserved for the few, but are qualities that anyone can develop. The misconception that boldness is synonymous with arrogance or aggression often holds many back. True boldness is not about dominating others or forcing your opinions on anyone. It's about having the courage to stand firm in your beliefs, to express yourself unapologetically, and to take action even when the world around you might be telling you to stay small or stay silent. When you embrace boldness, you give yourself permission to step into your full potential. The nice girl often spends so much time focusing on being liked, doing what is expected and accommodating the needs of others, that she loses sight of her own desires and aspirations. Boldness is a refusal to let others' expectations dictate your life. It is the willingness to express your thoughts, opinions, and desires without fear of judgment. It means no longer holding back because you're worried about upsetting someone or stepping on toes. You acknowledge that your voice matters, and you have the right to be heard. Along with boldness comes confidence, which is a quiet assurance in yourself and your abilities. Confidence isn't about feeling superior to others. It's about trusting yourself enough to take risks and pursue your goals with conviction. It's the deep knowing that no matter the outcome, you have the strength to handle whatever comes your way. Confidence does not mean that you are free from fear, but rather that you are willing to act despite it. It is the belief that you are worthy of success, happiness, and all the good things that life has to offer. Confidence allows you to navigate life's challenges with a sense of inner peace, because you know that you have the tools, the resilience, and the wisdom to overcome any obstacle. A key aspect of developing boldness and confidence is the willingness to be vulnerable. Often the fear of rejection or failure holds people back from embracing their true selves. When you are confident, you are not afraid to make mistakes, because you understand that mistakes are simply stepping stones toward growth. Boldness requires you to put yourself out there. Even when you don't know exactly how things will turn out, it requires the courage to try, to fail, and to try again. In this process, you discover your true strength and capabilities, and you gain a sense of ownership over your own life. Living boldly is a declaration that you are no longer willing to play small. It's about recognizing that you have a right to take up space, to speak your mind, and to chase after what you truly want without feeling guilty or second-guessing yourself. Confidence gives you the foundation to take those bold actions and to face any challenge with a sense of unwavering belief in yourself. You stop asking for permission to exist fully and start demanding that the world see you for who you really are. A powerful, unique individual who deserves to live life on her own terms. Living a life constantly seeking approval can be a trap that limits personal growth and fulfillment. The desire to please others and gain their validation is a natural human instinct. But when this desire becomes the driving force behind your decisions, it can lead to a loss of your true self. The pressure to be liked, accepted, or admired by others often causes people to prioritize external expectations over their own needs, dreams, and values. This need for approval can be seen in the way individuals mold themselves into what they believe others want them to be, stifling their authentic selves in the process. The root of this behavior often lies in a deep-seated fear of rejection or criticism. We are social beings, and as a result, the approval of others can feel like a form of safety or acceptance within a group. But the problem arises when this need for approval becomes overwhelming, leading to a lack of personal autonomy. When you constantly seek validation from others, you start to measure your worth by their standards, and this creates a dangerous cycle. No matter how much you give or how much you change to please those around you, it will never feel enough, because external validation is fleeting and unreliable. It's an impossible standard to live by, and it can lead to feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and resentment. Living for approval often means sacrificing your own desires in order to maintain peace or avoid conflict. You may find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do, agreeing with opinions you don't share, or pretending to be someone you're not, all in an effort to gain approval or avoid disappointing others. In the short term, this might bring a sense of peace or approval, but in the long term, it will only drain you. Constantly bending yourself to meet the expectations of others leaves you feeling disconnected from who you truly are. Over time, you might feel as though you're losing touch with your own identity, and your life becomes more about meeting other people's needs than about fulfilling your own. Breaking free from the need for approval requires a shift in perspective. It starts with recognizing that your worth is not determined by how others see you or by their approval of your choices. Your true value comes from within. You are worthy simply because you exist, not because of what you can do for others or how well you conform to their expectations. This realization is liberating because it allows you to begin making decisions based on what feels right for you, not based on the desire to please or avoid conflict. To stop seeking approval, you must first embrace the concept of authenticity. Authenticity is the freedom to be yourself without fear of judgment. It's about understanding that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are valid, even if they don't align with what others might expect or approve of. The more you practice embracing your true self, the less power others' opinions will have over you. You start making choices that align with your own values and desires, regardless of whether they are approved by others. This shift is empowering, as it allows you to live with a sense of integrity and confidence. Ultimately, when you stop seeking approval, you find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment as you begin to live life on your own terms. Redefining kindness is essential to moving beyond the limiting role of the nice girl. Often, kindness is misunderstood as simply agreeing with others, always putting others' needs first. and avoiding confrontation at all costs. While these actions can be seen as kind on the surface, they often result in personal sacrifices, where your own values, desires, and boundaries are ignored. True kindness is not about being compliant or pleasing everyone around you. It's about being respectful, considerate, and loving in ways that also protect your well-being and honor your values. True kindness means understanding that being a kind person doesn't require you to be self-sacrificial or to compromise your integrity for the sake of others' comfort. It's about offering respect and empathy without losing yourself in the process. In fact, sometimes the kindest thing you can do for others is to be honest and set boundaries. When you are always accommodating others, you run the risk of neglecting your own needs, which can lead to burnout, resentment, and ultimately less genuine kindness. This dynamic creates a false sense of peace, where surface-level harmony is maintained at the cost of deeper, more meaningful connections. Being kind means not allowing others to take advantage of your generosity. It is not cruel to stand up for yourself or to say no when someone asks for something that stretches you too thin or compromises your own values. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect. And by doing so, you show others how to treat you with respect as well. When you constantly give without regard to your own limits, you are not only doing yourself a disservice, but you may also be doing a disservice to those around you. People may come to expect that you will always say yes, and this can lead to unhealthy dynamics where others take advantage of your willingness to help without ever considering your needs. Kindness also involves being truthful, even when the truth might be uncomfortable. The nice girl might avoid giving honest feedback or addressing difficult topics in order to keep the peace. However, true kindness doesn't avoid difficult conversations. It embraces them. By being honest, you allow others to see the real you, and you open the door for growth and mutual understanding. Avoiding the truth, on the other hand, can create misunderstandings and lead to frustration, as you silently suffer through situations that could have been resolved with open communication. Redefining kindness also requires you to prioritize your own well-being. The act of giving and being kind should not come at the expense of your own mental, emotional, or physical health. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for both yourself and others is to take a step back, recognize your limits, and choose not to overextend yourself. It's about striking a balance, being compassionate without losing yourself in the process, showing empathy without allowing others to walk over you, and offering help without neglecting your own needs. True kindness comes from a place of inner strength, self-respect, and a clear understanding that you do not need to lose yourself to make the world a better place. Living for your purpose instead of the expectations of others is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in life. Many people, especially those who are caught in the trap of being the nice girl, live their lives based on what others expect from them. They are driven by the desire to meet the needs of family, friends, society, or their peer groups. The pressure to conform, to live up to other people's standards, or to fulfill external expectations can be overwhelming, and over time it can suppress an individual's true desires and goals. When you live for the approval of others, You are essentially relinquishing your power to define your own path and purpose. The result is often a life that feels unfulfilled as you chase someone else's dreams instead of your own. Finding your purpose begins with a deep and honest understanding of who you are, your values, your passions, and what truly drives you. It requires the courage to tune out the noise of external opinions and focus inwardly on what resonates with your heart and mind. Each person is unique, and your purpose is not something that can be dictated by anyone else. It's a journey of self-discovery. When you begin to live according to your purpose, you stop being reactive to the demands and expectations of others and start being proactive in creating the life you truly want. You allow yourself to follow your own passions, pursue your dreams, and set goals that are meaningful to you, regardless of whether or not they align with the expectations of others. Living for your purpose means finding the strength to say no to things that don't serve you. It requires you to let go of the fear of disappointing others and embrace the idea that it's okay to make decisions that honor your needs. This might mean stepping away from relationships, commitments, or jobs that drain you or that don't align with your values. While it can be difficult to prioritize yourself, it's important to remember that by living authentically, you create a ripple effect that encourages